Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, guests. By my calculations, I'm at the threshold of the halfway point of my life. And it's been a very good life. I have my health, I have wonderful friends, and I'm blessed with a supporting and lovely family. So yes, it's been a very good first half. I'll be forever thankful to my mom and dad for having made the decision to move from New York City to Barre, Vermont, when two of my brothers and I were toddlers. Barre was a great place to grow up. And if you think back to some of the old television shows like Leave It to Beaver, Ozzie and Harriet, or Father Knows Best, then you have a sense of what it was like to grow up in Vermont, Barre in particular, in the 60s. It was a safe, family-friendly town. When we went to bed at night, we didn't even lock the doors. When my mom pulled up in the driveway, she just put the keys above the visor. And as a kid, my friends and I walked all over the city, unchaperoned by parents. We had no phobias about people trying to get us. And certainly for our parents, it didn't seem to be a bother for them either. I went to a neighborhood elementary school where I walked to school in the mornings and in the afternoons. So we went home for lunch. Now the middle school and the high schools, we didn't go home for lunch, but we walked there every day. Even in high school, we walked to school. So it was a pretty small town. Barre, and actually all of Vermont, was pretty good for outdoor sports. And we did a lot of that. Now you gotta remember, back in the 60s, we had 3 TV channels. They were black and white. There was no Netflix and no computer games to entertain us. And with 5 kids in the house running around, the last thing my mother wanted was us to be screaming and yelling in the family room. So we went outside a lot. And it was similar with all the other families as well. There were kids of all ages in our neighborhood, and we always got together to do something. You stuck your head out the door, there was always someone yelling, screaming, crying, complaining about something. But we did something. It didn't matter what time of year it was. In the fall, it could be raking leaves together and jumping in the piles. In the winter, going across the street, sliding down the hill behind the Kent's house and having snowball fights. In the summer, though, as a family, we did a lot of outdoor activity, and most of it revolved around swimming. We had a pool, so all the neighborhood kids came over. And actually, several neighbors in the neighborhood kids had pools, and we went there a lot. We joined the Barre City swim team, so we were always at the municipal pool. My grandfather lived on a big farm out in Middlesex. And we always used to chuckle when we used to say that, Middlesex. And there was a river running through his property, and sure enough, there was a little bend in the river, so we'd go down to the swimming hole and have a good time there. We also, as a family, skied in the winter, and that was our big deal. We skied. Now, there were times we wanted to do something else, like go snowmobiling or something else. But my father said, well, if you want a snowmobile, then you go move in with the Burkholder family, because they snowmobile. So we skied, and every Sunday of the winter, and most of the holidays, the 7 of us would pile into the family car, drive about an hour down the backwood roads of Vermont, and spend the rest of the day to about 4 or 4:30, when it got dark, on the mountain. It was a great life, and it was a wonderful place to be. When I graduated from high school, I went to the Naval Academy. My 3 brothers and my sister opted to go to Indiana University. I don't remember why they decided to take the trek out to the Midwest, but evidently it did okay for them. My sister and 2 brothers still live out there, and my mother and father now live out in Indiana. But I guess I wanted to join the Navy and see the world, and that's just the opportunity I got. Even while a midshipman at the Naval Academy, I had the opportunity to go visit strange and foreign lands, like Italy, and France, and even California. So upon graduation, I chose surface community. So I sailed on ships, and I saw a lot of water. And during my time in the Navy, I did a lot of traveling, and I completely circumnavigated the globe. Not in one big loop, but bits and pieces over the years. Kind of like Magellan, except I lived to tell about it. And one of my stops was here at NPS, where I was a student in the information systems, which was computer science light for the less technically inclined. And this is where I met my wife, Janet. She was the assistant curricular officer for information systems and computer science. And we had a good class. We did a lot of things together, so we invited Janet to join us on a lot of things. And that's how I got to know her. Although it didn't take long. I met Janet in July, we were engaged in September, and we were married in December. Well, 27 and a half years later, we're still together, so I guess it was a pretty good decision. We were stationed in San Diego at one point, and that's where we had my older daughter, Jennifer. This past May, she completed her graduate program at St. John's University, and she lives, works, and gets paid in New York City, so she's off the family payroll. That's a good life. So after the Navy, we moved to San Antonio, Texas, and that's where Janet had a home from when she was in the Air Force. I joined a company called Billing Concepts. We provided billing services to the telephone industry. It was a fun place to work. A lot of talented and enthusiastic people. You know, on Sunday evenings, when I went to bed, I didn't think, oh, I gotta go to work tomorrow. There was this sense of excitement and anticipation about joining a group of people you liked and respected. Also in San Antonio, we had our second daughter, Maria. Now Jennifer, we built the old-fashioned way. Maria, we adopted from China. She's 15 now. She's going to be a sophomore in high school this fall. She's a nationally ranked saber fencer for her age group, and just to be aware, be careful, she's driving now. So now I'm back at NPS, my alma mater. I work in ITAX, in a job I enjoy, in a beautiful part of the country. How cool is that? So now as I stand on the threshold of the second half of my life, I think I still have my health, I've got great friends, and I'm still blessed with a loving and supportive family. The second half is going to be just as good as the first.